The smile fades fast. Jasmine sits there, eyes steady, breathing shallow, realizing the rules shifted mid-game. Cameras still roll, faces stay calm. Something colder moves behind the scenes. Reality TV greets you with applause, then charges a price nobody explains upfront. This moment lands hard, because the switch flips quietly, no warning, no memo, no mercy. Jasmine speaks, and the room changes shape. Not louder, tighter. Like every word now carries weight beyond emotion. This feels personal because control slips away in real time. Choice shrinks. The system listens, nods, then decides. Viewers sense the turn before producers admit anything. A soft voice becomes a risk. Vulnerability turns into leverage. Jasmine does not shout. Jasmine does not storm off. Jasmine apologizes. And somehow, that choice feels heavier than silence. Stay close here, because this moment rewires everything that follows. Reality TV sells redemption arcs, growth, second chances. Those promises glow bright until consequences arrive. Jasmine learns the gap between on-screen healing and off-screen fallout. The apology lands, and something unseen starts moving. Not public, not emotional, administrative, strategic, quiet. Was that apology an act of control? Or the moment control vanished? The cameras cut, smiles return, the audience waits. Behind closed doors, the real reaction begins, and nothing shown next makes sense. Without this single choice hanging in the air, the season did not fall apart overnight. It slipped. Small moments stacked up. Side eyes at the tell-all. Awkward pauses. Nobody laughed off. Jasmine showing emotion when others played defense. Each episode nudged her closer to the edge without ringing any alarms. You felt it before you saw it. The vibe shifted. The room felt less forgiving. Jasmine's arc turned vulnerable fast. One week she fought loud. Next week she softened. Fans cheered growth, then questioned motive. The same audience asking for accountability started policing tone. Speak to hard. You are unstable. Speak to soft. You are strategic. Jasmine stayed stuck in between, exposed from every angle. Hold this thought, because the show rewards silence more than honesty. While all eyes stayed locked on Jasmine, another story slid by quietly. Yara packed emotional distance long before she packed bags. No screaming matches, no viral meltdown, just a slow pull away. Her scenes felt lighter, calmer, almost detached. That calm hit harder than chaos. Leaving America stopped sounding dramatic and started sounding practical. A choice, not an escape. And then there is the loudest character of all, the one who never speaks. The network. Silence speaks volumes here. No statements. No clarifications. No reassurance. When chaos peaks, quiet feels intentional. Fans fill gaps fast. Rumors spread faster than facts. The absence becomes part of the story. Watch how quiet decisions hit louder than shouted ones. Three paths now run side by side. Jasmine opens up and faces heat. Yara steps back and regains power. The network watches, waits, and protects itself. None of these moves look dramatic alone. Together, they build pressure. This season stops feeling messy and starts feeling controlled. You sense choices narrowing. The fun gossip turns uneasy. Something bigger lines up behind the scenes. And the question hangs there unanswered. Who benefits when emotions spill and silence stays clean? Jasmine turns into a symbol the moment people stop listening to her words and start studying her timing. The apology lands soft, careful, slower than her usual fire. That alone triggers suspicion. On reality TV, apologies do not read as healing. They read as retreat. Fans do not hear remorse first. They hear strategy. The room reacts before the sentence ends. Sympathy rises, then doubt rushes in right behind it. She does not cry for attention. She controls her voice. She owns mistakes without begging. For some viewers, that feels mature. For others, that feels rehearsed. The same behavior splits the audience in half. One side sees growth. The other smells damage control. Both sides feel right. That tension is the trap. Stay right here, because this apology flips the power balance in a way nobody expects. Behavior matters more than words in this space. Jasmine apologized after weeks of conflict, not during the heat. That timing reads safe. Safe reads calculated. Reality TV punishes safety. Chaos fuels story. Calm closes doors. When someone steps out of the expected role, the system pushes back, not with yelling, with distance. Watch how faces change around her. Nobody attacks her outright. Support sounds thinner. Conversations shorten. The room treats her like a liability, not a problem. That distinction matters. Villains get airtime. Liabilities get removed quietly. Jasmine shifts categories in real time. Notice how fast empathy turns into caution once the tone changes. Fans replay the clip frame by frame. Body language experts flood comment sections. Every blink becomes evidence. People argue over intent, like intent decides outcomes. On this show, perception rules. Perception decides who stays useful. Once doubt sticks, it spreads fast. Here is the part people miss. Apologies. Close story loops. Producers need open loops. Conflict stretches seasons. Resolution ends arcs. When Jasmine apologizes, she shortens her shelf life. That move reads honest on a human level. On a production level, it raises risk. This is the moment growth stops serving the show. Sympathy peaks again when the backlash hits. Viewers feel the pile-on. Nobody wants to watch someone get crushed for trying to do better. The tone online shifts once more. Defenders speak up. Critics double down. Jasmine stays silent longer than expected. Silence feels heavy now. Then the quiet consequences begin. Conversations stop including her. Decisions move without her input. The apology echoes behind closed doors in ways nobody on camera explains. Something changes beyond feelings. Access tightens. Options shrink. Hold on to this, because that apology did more than calm a fight. It rewrote her position inside the system. By the end of this stretch, Jasmine stands alone without being isolated on screen. That subtle shift signals more than drama. It signals a door, closing softly, without warning, and without asking permission. The temperature drops once attention lifts from Jasmine and settles higher up. The network presence fills the room without saying a word. Silence becomes the loudest move. No statement, no clarification, no comfort. Patterns start doing the talking. Reality TV rarely reacts fast unless ratings need help or risk needs cover. Quiet shows confidence. Quiet signals control. Silence protects brands. Ambiguity protects contracts. Public confusion buys time. When a cast member draws heat, the system waits. Fans argue. Clips circulate. Pressure builds outward, not upward. The structure stays untouched. That pattern repeats across seasons. Outbursts earn screen time. Compliance earns caution. Vulnerability creates risk. Watch closely, because quiet decisions shape outcomes more than dramatic scenes. This shift feels colder because warmth never enters the conversation. Support sounds measured. Distance grows polite. No one attacks. No one defends. The absence of reaction frames the response. Cast members learn fast. Speak less. Share less. Leave space. Silence reads safer than honesty. Inside a machine built on conflict, the stakes widen beyond one person. A franchise survives by managing exposure. Personal mess stays useful until legal lines approach. When those lines appear, tone changes. Access narrows. Options shrink. That move looks clean from the outside. Inside, pressure builds. Fans sense the shift without proof. Discomfort spreads. Threads fill with theories. No confirmation arrives. That gap keeps engagement high while shielding responsibility. Ambiguity works. The system keeps rolling. This silence feels planned, not accidental. Patterns show protection comes first. Ratings follow. People come last. No accusations needed. History shows incentives. Networks react strongest when risk touches contracts or compliance. Emotion never triggers action alone. Structure does. Immigration pressure enters quietly through pattern, not statement. Stakes rise when legal exposure appears near storylines. Past seasons show similar pivots. Cast members fade out. Edits tighten. Appearances reduce. Exits sound mutual. The public hears nothing firm. Nobody claims a reason. Nobody confirms a cause. Still, timing tells stories. Words avoid. When vulnerability meets legal risk, the system closes ranks. Silence shields. Distance protects. Hold this connection, because control tightens hardest. When consequences stop feeling fictional, the unease lingers. Fans feel a line crossed without seeing the line drawn. That discomfort marks a turning point. Reality TV stops smiling. The system reveals limits without explaining rules. The noise drops when Yara makes her decision. No shouting, no slammed doors, just a calm certainty that lands heavier than any fight. Leaving America is framed like drama everywhere else, but here it feels like air returning to a room that forgot how to breathe. Yara is not running. She is choosing. That distinction matters. Liberation rarely looks loud. Her voice stays steady. Her posture loosens. The tension that followed her for seasons slips off quietly. This is not about winning an argument. It is about reclaiming space. The choice lands gently, then keeps sinking. You can feel it in the pauses, in the way conversations shorten, in how certainty scares people more than anger ever did. Yara Zaya walks away without spectacle, and that restraint reframes everything. Viewers expect chaos. They get clarity. That clarity stings. It forces reflection instead of reaction. Leaving becomes an act of self-preservation, not betrayal. Across from her, the impact registers slowly. Jovi Dufren does not explode. He folds inward. His collapse is quiet, confused, human. No villain. Edit here. Just a man realizing stability slipped through his hands while he waited for things to fix themselves. His pain reads genuine. Regret replaces defensiveness. Loss settles in without theatrics. Sit with this moment, because it asks for stillness instead of sides. The scene refuses easy blame. Love exists here. So does exhaustion. Sometimes both are true. Yara's calm forces the truth forward. Staying would have cost her more than leaving ever could. That realization hurts everyone involved. The tone stays soft even as cracks appear. Distance replaces hope. Acceptance replaces argument. The show does not rush it. Silence stretches. Viewers feel the weight without being told how to feel. This is not a breakup built for ratings. It is a choice built for survival. Notice how peace unsettles people trained to expect drama. When Yara steps away, control shifts again. Walking away breaks the cycle. The system cannot escalate someone who refuses to fight. That refusal feels radical inside a format built on conflict. Liberation becomes resistance without saying a word. The scene ends without closure. No speech explains it. No montage resolves it. Just space where noise used to live. And the question lingers quietly, heavier than any argument. When someone walks away and finds peace, who actually loses? The quiet does not last. Screens light up. Opinions crash into each other at full speed. Comment sections turn into battlegrounds. Clips loop. Captions sharpen. Everyone has a take, and every take demands attention. The show pauses, but the audience never does. Outrage moves fastest. It always has. Posts with heat travel farther than posts with nuance. People say they want accountability, but they share anger. They say they want growth, but they reward collapse. Algorithms notice. The system listens. Volume wins. Timelines split into camps. Team Jasmine. Team Yara. Team Nobody. Facts blur. Feelings lead. Context gets trimmed to fit 15 seconds. Someone cries on screen, and strangers decide what that means. Someone stays calm, and strangers decide that too. Watch how quickly judgment replaces curiosity. The audience does not just watch the system. The audience feeds it. Every like teaches what to repeat. Every share trains what survives. The demand for consequences grows louder, but so does the appetite for spectacle. Those two wants clash constantly. One asks for responsibility. The other thrives on destruction. People scroll while saying they are tired of drama. They comment while saying they want peace. The contradiction lives comfortably online. Nobody logs off to fix it. The cycle spins faster. Creators pile on. Reaction videos stack. Tone escalates. Jokes harden into verdicts. Sympathy becomes suspicious. Silence becomes guilt. Everything means something, even when it means nothing at all. This is where the line blurs between viewer and participant. Fans accuse the network of manipulation while amplifying every edit. They criticize pressure while adding more. They ask for transparency while rewarding mystery. The system thrives on that tension. It does not need to explain itself. The audience explains it for them. Each opinion feels personal. Each comment feels justified. But together, they form a crowd that pushes harder than any producer. Note: cast members feel it. Networks track it. Silence adjusts accordingly. The heat peaks, then spreads sideways. Attention moves on. Another clip. Another story. another target. The cycle does not end. It reloads, and somewhere between accountability and outrage, a question slips through unanswered. If the audience helps decide who breaks and who survives, who is really in control? The pressure eases when the lens shifts and contrast arrives like a breath between storms. Some couples move forward quietly, without fireworks, without collapse. Stability shows up not as perfection, but as choice made repeatedly. That is where Lauren Bravarnik and Alexei Bravarnik live now. Their story does not spike anymore. It flows. Disagreements surface, resolve, and move on. No one needs to win. Nobody needs to perform pain to stay relevant. It is not boring. It is evolved. Stability here comes from momentum, not stagnation. They adapt, roles shift, priorities change. The relationship grows because it is allowed to. Viewers feel relief watching something functional without being dull. Drama is not required when progress exists. Then the contrast sharpens. Andrei Castrovet and Elizabeth Pothast return like a familiar loop. Same arguments, same tension, same power struggle repackaged with new words. Nothing moves forward, but nothing ends either. Conflict replaces growth. Exhaustion replaces curiosity. The story spins instead of travels. The tone here feels different. Not explosive, draining. Each scene lands heavier because it offers nothing new. The audience recognizes the pattern before the dialogue finishes. Repetition becomes predictable, and predictability dulls impact. This is not chaos. It is stagnation disguised as drama. Notice how evolution feels lighter than constant intensity. These couples prove something important. Choice exists inside the system. Growth is possible. So is staying stuck. Stability does not erase relevance. Repetition does. One path expands, the other shrinks. The irony sits quietly. The healthiest stories often get less attention, while the loudest ones burn out fastest. The system rewards motion, not noise. When stories evolve, they stay human. When they stall, they turn mechanical. This contrast lands as a warning without sounding like one. Relationships that stop moving do not explode. They fade. They repeat until nothing feels real anymore. And when a story runs out of direction, the system does not push it forward. It replaces it. The noise fades again, and Jasmine stands in a quieter space, now facing forward instead of reacting. The future does not announce itself. It waits. Legal uncertainty hangs in the background, never spoken directly, but always present. On this side of reality TV, paperwork matters as much as personality. Timing matters. Tone matters. Perception lingers longer than intent. Jasmine Pineda carries more than emotional fallout. Reputation sticks in ways episodes do not. Clips live forever. Headlines flatten nuance. An apology meant to close one chapter opens another that cannot be edited cleanly. Even silence now communicates something she does not control. The emotional cost shows up quietly. Trust thins. Support feels conditional. Opportunities feel distant instead of guaranteed. Nothing dramatic happens all at once. Weight accumulates slowly. The kind that settles in your chest when the cameras stop and decisions still wait. There are paths ahead, not outcomes. One path leans into distance, less visibility, fewer risks. Another demands resilience, rebuilding trust inside a system that already categorized you. Neither path promises comfort. Both demand patience. This is where consequences stop being public and start becoming personal. The audience feels it because the show steps back. No music cues, no dramatic framing, just the sense that something irreversible already happened. Growth came with a cost. Honesty did not erase damage. It clarified it. Jasmine is no longer reacting to pressure. She is carrying it. The future does not punish loudly. It narrows quietly. Options thin. Choices matter more. This is not about downfall or redemption. It is about weight. The kind that follows you after the episode ends. The kind that reminds you that reality TV does not end when the screen goes dark. By the end, the illusion finally drops. This show was never a love story with messy edges. It is a pressure system. Step inside, and every emotion becomes leverage. Every tear becomes footage. Every mistake becomes a permanent record. Jasmine did not break the rules. She reached the point where the rules stopped bending. 90-day Fiancé rewards vulnerability right up until vulnerability becomes inconvenient. Then it switches languages. Contracts replace compassion. Silence replaces reassurance. Viewers sense the shift because the tone changes before the story does. Smiles fade. Access tightens. The machine keeps moving. Jasmine crossed an invisible line most cast members never see until it is behind them. The apology did not save her because apologies slow momentum. They force accountability. Systems built on chaos do not like pauses. They like escalation or exit. She chose honesty in a space trained to monetize denial. The cost followed. Yara, walking away, answered another loop. Leaving was not failure. It was agency. Choosing less exposure over more applause. That choice rarely gets celebrated on reality TV. It gets edited quietly and judged loudly. Yet peace often looks boring on camera. Fans play a role too. Outrage fuels relevance. Sympathy fuels clicks. Silence punishes harder than criticism. The system feeds on all of it. Once you see the pattern, the drama stops feeling random and starts feeling designed. Only one loop stays open. Who is next? Not because they are worse, but because they are closer to the line than they think. Watch the way the edit tightens. Watch the apologies. Watch the pauses. Someone else is approaching the same moment Jasmine reached. And if you want to see how fast that line can appear, keep your eyes on Big Ed Brown, because the system never stops testing how much pressure one person can take before the rules change again.